So where does real, genuine respect actually come from? It's not something that's just handed to you, it's something you build. Today, we're going to dig into this really powerful idea, that your character is basically a construction project, and guess what? You're the architect. Let's get into it. So let's just start with this question right here, and let it sink in for a second. What if all that strength and respect we see in other people isn't just about luck or having the right genes? What if it's actually a deliberate, day-by-day process of building? That one little shift in how you see things, it changes absolutely everything. And this brings us to the core concept here. It's all about seeing yourself as the architect of your own life. You're not just a passenger, you're the active designer, the builder of the person you truly want to be. I just love this quote because it completely reframes what strength is. It's not some trait you either have or you don't. No, it's the sum total, the cumulative result of thousands of tiny, conscious decisions you're making day in and day out. And right here, this is where the whole metaphor just clicks into place. If you're the architect, what are your materials? Well, they're your habits, all those little things you do over and over, sometimes without even thinking. They are literally the bricks, the mortar, the steel beams of the character you're putting together. So, let's get to the first part of any construction job, the foundation. You can't build a skyscraper on shaky ground, right? And in this architecture of character, the solid bedrock, the absolute must-have, is emotional control. Now, this is not about bottling up your emotions or pretending you don't have them. Not at all. It's about taking charge of your internal world, so that whatever's happening on the outside doesn't get to dictate how you react on the inside. It's kind of like being the thermostat that sets the temperature in the room instead of the thermometer that just reflects it. Okay, so how do you actually build this skill? It really boils down to these three simple but, not so easy steps. First, you create a little space between what happens and how you react. That pause, that's where all your power is. It lets you sort out what you feel from what's actually real. And from there, you get to choose a response that builds you up instead of tearing things down. All right, on to the second cornerstone of our foundation, absolute responsibility. And look, this one's a tough one for sure, but it is completely non-negotiable if you want to build a character that commands respect. 100%. This number is just so powerful because it leaves zero wiggle room. There are no excuses. It's all about taking complete and total ownership, not just for your wins, but especially for your failures. So here's the bottom line. When things go sideways, the architect doesn't blame the hammer, or the bad weather, or the client. No, they look at the blueprint, they look at their own actions, and they own the outcome 100%. That's where the real growth happens. That's where respect is earned. So once we have that solid foundation in place, every architect needs a blueprint, right? A plan. So what guides our construction project? The key is that the plans have to be drawn from the inside out. Just take a look at this comparison. Over on the left, you've got a character built on what other people think. It's shaky, it's flimsy, it's totally dependent on praise and approval. But on the right, that's a structure built on internal progress. It's all about getting better, building your integrity, and measuring your own growth. Those are metrics that you and only you control. At the end of the day, chasing after what other people think, it's like building a beautiful house just so you can hear compliments from passersby. But focusing on your own internal progress, that's like building yourself a fortress, one that can handle any storm, because its strength doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion. Okay, so we've got the foundation, we've got the blueprint. Now it's time for the most important part, the actual, boots on the ground, day-to-day work of construction. This really brings it all together in a super simple, actionable game plan. Step 1, pour that concrete. You lay the foundations with emotional control and total ownership. Step 2, follow your blueprint. Every single day, you check in with your internal plan, not the court of public opinion. And step 3, you build. With every choice you make, you just ask yourself, does this choice align with the design I'm trying to create? And this, right here, is the ultimate takeaway. Great character isn't about one big heroic moment. It's the quiet, steady accumulation of thousands of good choices. Little bricks laid perfectly in place, day after day, until this magnificent structure is standing where before there was nothing. So, I'll just leave you with this thought. You're holding the tools. You have the blueprint. The ground is prepped and ready for the foundation. The only question left, the only one that really matters now, is the one right there on your screen. What will you build today?